Uh,
Good afternoon. Thank you for calling Joe Williams State Farm. Hi. I didn't mean to have the waiting room on. I gotta take it off. Oh, boy.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi. I just wanted to know if you received my two bio sketches. I sent them in an email maybe probably 2 weeks ago. I'm not sure.
Is this Taylor?
Yeah.
Let me see.
Okay.
I'll check email. My documents is in another place, so I can't get to it right now, but I'm gonna check my email. I think I saw them.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure.
Yeah, that's a good thing,
Yeah.
Taylor.
But I didn't upload anything on Canvas.
Okay. Is that what you're supposed to do? Put it on Canvas?
I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm
Not
not
sure. Okay, I see two
Mhm.
bio sketches, March 4th. Let me see.
Yes.
Yes. On Hildress Poindexter and Mary Harris. Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yep,
Great.
got
Thank
'em.
you. Yep.
Mhm, you're welcome. DJ, is yours in?
My bio sketches.
Yeah, you turned yours in?
Is it the main ones we did? Because I think I wound up emailing them.
I think you did too. Let me see, bio sketch. Okay, looks like February 4th. Wow,
Yeah.
good girl, good girl. I need to get people out of this waiting room. Oh, I don't like waiting room. Hey, Kathy. Let me see, can you hear me?
Hi, Carol.
Hi.
Yes.
Good.
How are you? How's your
All
day?
right. Oh, it's good. Busy,
right.
but that's a good thing.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. So Renee has moved down there with you guys, huh? Or near you?
Yes.
That's incredible.
Uh-huh. In Virginia Beach.
Yeah. You're not in Virginia Beach though, right?
Now I'm in Chesapeake.
Chesapeake, right?
Yes. It's only
Oh, Lord.
20 minutes away.
Okay. With traffic? Without traffic?
Without traffic.
I've never seen so much traffic in that area.
Well,
Coming
in
from
summertime.
Hampton. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Hey,
When
Susan.
when school is in session and the summertime,
Oh my God.
but it's not nearly as bad as DC.
Oh yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah, we always plan a trip to make, well, we haven't been on any trips like in a year or more.
That's
But
right. Exactly.
yeah, but was always figuring the best time to get around DC.
Yes.
Yeah. Hey, Dwight.
Hello, everybody. Susan,
Good.
Carol, and Kathy Reardon.
Hello.
How you
How
doing? All right.
you doing?
And Deja and Taylor. Yes.
Yes.
Hey,
Dave.
Rob. Yeah.
And Professor Johnson.
Mm-hmm.
And Sue, how's Mark doing?
He's fine. He's so busy. You know, we're converting the office building
That's right. Yeah, you told
that's
me.
been vacant for so long. And so he's there every day
Uh-huh.
working on that.
Right.
It's been really slow because mostly because of COVID.
Right.
Yeah.
In the beginning, you know, Pennsylvania was shut down for a while, so he wasn't even allowed to do, you know, have contractors come in and do the work. And
Right. I remember.
anyway, it's progressing. We need to rent it out. It's been vacant for years.
Yeah.
Right.
That's great.
So you're making progress. That's good.
Mm-hmm. I just
Now,
love your background, Carol. It
Oh,
makes me
thank
think,
you.
you know, warmer
Yeah.
weather's coming. You know,
Yes,
it looks so
indeed.
inviting.
It does.
Hey, Carol, how you get these backgrounds you have?
You just go to where your video camera is on your Zoom,
Uh-huh.
and you press that up arrow,
Right.
and then you can choose virtual background, and they give you some. But you can put any photo that you want.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the photo you had. Okay, I got.
Oh, one of them. Yeah, I'm a person who's got 50,000 photos, Dwight.
Yeah, I know. I know that. I know how you are with a camera.
With a camera, right? Crazy.
You're dangerous.
Dangerous, right? We were doing Women's History Month. So at church yesterday, the person chose Ruth Bader Ginsburg to feature for, the Woman of the Week. And so then the pastor's sermon was on Huldah, Huldah. And after that message, I went like, well, the notorious Huldah, you're incredible. So now I said all that to say what? Got a notorious, Carol with the camera, right?
Right. Notorious.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
Hey, Dwight, did you get your vaccination yet?
No.
Are
yet.
you planning to, or?
Oh yeah,
Just
I'm gonna get it. I'm not one of these crazy people. I believe in science. Although I'm watching you guys to see if you grow any extra heads. Or but you know what? But you know that in England, at the AstraZeneca turns out to be have some problems.
Really?
Yeah,
Well, that's not what we have here. We have Pfizer.
We had Pfizer and Moderna, but I'm just saying.
Yeah, no,
and Johnson and Johnson.
Yeah, that's who I'm waiting for, Mr. Johnson. That's what I'm
Mr.
waiting.
Johnson, that one and done. Yeah, that is a good deal.
I like that.
I was thinking I was going to wait for that because, well, Mark got, we both signed up with the Delaware site, and Mark got, because he's older, he got invited for a big event that the CDC was doing at the Department of Motor Vehicles. So he got his, and I kept trying to, I registered all these different places, and then suddenly I had registered at Christiana Care, and I suddenly got this message that they had an opening for me like the next day. So I went and I got my first shot, and I'll get my second one in a couple of weeks. So
Moderna,
I'm like halfway
right?
there. I'm really tickled.
Moderna.
Pfizer. It turned out I would have gotten whichever, but it was Pfizer, which Mark's also was Pfizer.
Man, I got both Moderna.
Okay.
And you really reacted.
I was very sick after the first one,
Yeah.
but nothing after the second. So who figures,
Yeah. Sometimes people react after the second. I don't know if that's
they said most people would react after the second. But I don't know, something wrong with me.
I got Moderna as well.
No, you did.
Did you?
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't have any problems. The second shot, just my the injection site swelled up. About
A week.
But was no pain.
Oh, well, that's good.
Very swollen.
Now I want to ask you ladies, do they do it in the same arm or do?
Yeah, I did the same arm. I did my right arm because that's my dominant arm, and I wanted to move it, make sure I move it, and never had any other problems.
How about you, Susan? They'd had it in the same arm, same place?
I've only had one of them so
Carol,
far.
what about you?
I don't know, but Mark had them in the same arm, and he had a little tiny swelling for the second one. I don't know that he did for the first, but he maybe a little bit of warmth, but he was okay. I mean, he didn't get real sick or anything for either of them. So
yeah, mine was the same arm, but they ask you, you get to choose.
Yes, you do. You do.
Okay.
And I, for that same reason, said, my left arm, because if it hurt, then I could still use my dominant right arm.
I got it.
Yeah. Yeah. Matter of fact, my church is in Philadelphia, so
oh man,
been trying to get the Black Doctors Consortium to come and do it,
right?
And I can't seem to get it. Now, we've had a fellowship with a Korean church for 30 years. And out of the blue today, the coordinator of that church said that he owns a Sunray drugstore. He wanted to know he's heard that it's been difficult for the Black community to get the vaccinations. Want to know, could he come? And I went like, praise God, yes. Yes. So
Wow.
yeah, and our people at our church have had a difficult time, trying to get the shots.
Oh, wow.
Okay. Huh.
And of course, there's not enough vaccine now. As the vaccine increases, it'll be better. But right now, it's people competing for it.
Oh.
Now, students, have you had vaccines?
No, not yet.
Yeah, I guess you all are at the bottom of the list, huh?
Yeah, I'm
Definitely.
guessing.
You're definitely not old. You're not old. Are they? Do you know if they're offered on campus?
I'm not sure, but I'm not on campus. I'm remote, so
Okay.
I doubt that they have the vaccine on campus though.
Well, I know
they
the
definitely
testing
have
is
yeah, they definitely have COVID testing, but I'm not too sure about the vaccine.
the vaccine. Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
Hey,
Yeah, I think they're
Taylor,
prioritizing older people, really,
Yeah.
Healthcare workers and the older people. And,
First line, first responders, and yeah.
Taylor, how do you like this offline teaching?
You said, how do I like the online teaching?
Right.
It's not bad. Sometimes, I would say like, I don't know, being in front of a computer screen kind of strains my eyes a little bit, but
Yeah.
I prefer both, either in
You
person
prefer both.
or yeah, it doesn't really bother me as much. But sometimes it is hard to stay focused when you're home because I have like a younger sibling, and it's
Yeah.
just it's just sometimes it can be a lot of distractions
Yeah, I bet.
when you're home.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I don't like it teaching it. It was good what's good about it is I save money. I don't have to travel to New York City.
Right.
Yeah.
And the other thing is I can get up and throw on my pajamas and just get on. But it's the interaction, and then you have to be Zoom ready, like you have to know all the mechanics, like sharing the screen and things like that. And so there's an intimacy that's needed, for something.
Mhm.
But I'm sure for some things it's good. Like what subject? It's not good for science subjects, or it's okay for philosophy, I guess.
I don't know. I just think in person is always better. But I think on the other hand, I mean, I did one of my graduate degrees was my library degree was done with an online program at University of Pittsburgh. It was actually hybrid. Each semester we went for one weekend, but it was, mostly online. And this was at the beginning when they were just starting to do online stuff.
Right.
So we didn't have Zoom. They tried doing, one of the professors tried doing a class with Skype and it didn't really work. So different people had different ways, but I mean, just the in-person interaction, I was really glad we had at least a little bit of time where we could just, meet each other, talk face to face and interact in that way. And on the other hand, it was how I could, it was a way I could work on, get the library degree. I don't know how I would have done it otherwise because I was working full time. So.
Right.
But
that's
I
the
really
advantage of
prefer
it,
in
yes.
person.
That's the advantage of it.
It is nice to have hybrid though, because there's a certain amount of stuff you can do online, and it's nice to have that option. Like, for example, say there's a snow day or something, you can
Right.
meet your class that way
Well-
and not have to miss class. But
Well, what they have, I mean, you can start the class and, we're just talking, running our mouths, but what they have is that they have what they call the synchronistic and asynchronistic. Asynchronistic means you don't even have to meet with them on Zoom or anything. They
Yeah.
just have work, and that's terrible. I
think so.
All they do is say,
not
you
good.
give them work, hand it in.
Yeah.
But I have to meet with them. I meet with them via Zoom, and some of them
Mhm.
like that. But anyway, enough me talking. While you guys-
Yeah. It's still coming in.
I know Tamara had a class till 5:15, so she'll
she
probably be
just-
showing up.
She
showing
just
up
came
to-
in.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. You spoke her up.
I'm muted.
We can't hear you. Oh, there you go.
Muted, yeah.
Yeah. Hey. How's your weekend? Relaxing or did you work?
Well, I worked, but I have to relax after the week.
Yeah, you
You
do.
have to recalibrate, otherwise
Recharge. Yeah.
balance it out. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've always enjoyed Mondays, to be honest with you. I think Mondays are fun. It's like a clean slate, you know?
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
It is. I rarely schedule anything on Mondays though, because I usually need Monday to get ready for the rest of the week.
That's smart. That's very
Mhm. Mhm.
yeah.
Mm.
Well, you tell me when to start. Oh, it's 5. Is it? Yeah, it's 5. Did we start at 5 o'clock today?
Yeah.
Yeah,
One of us was here at 5 o'clock.
So smart. Well, let me start right away. Should we go ahead?
Yes.
Yes.
Sure.
I don't know why I was thinking 5:15. I have no idea.
Oh, fine.
Okay, well, welcome everyone. And this is primarily, how many students do we have today? Is everybody here?
Most of the
4.
students. Oh, yeah, we got 4.
More.
Thought we had more than that. No, you're right. We
Okay,
have Abigail, Deja, Tamara, and Taylor.
okay. Well, can I share my screen? Am I a co-host?
Oh, here, let me do that for you.
Hmm.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm going to share my screen. And by the way, I just want to thank Carol so much for all the work you're doing in putting up the material on our Canvas. And I have, I think you may have seen, I have I've written an email to all the powers that be. And I'm thinking that what might end up happening, what I've asked for is permission for students to share their access to Canvas on a one-on-one basis with their mentor. I think that might be the way it's going to work. But I don't want to do anything before we get the formal okay. But in the
Right.
meantime, students have a marvelous, marvelous series of materials up there on Canvas. And I hope you have checked it, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies, have you checked your Canvas site for this course? Taylor?
I have. I noticed there's some due dates, but I haven't seen. Was that all that you uploaded onto Canvas?
Well, no, not at all. In fact, we might want to go over that at some point.
Oh,
But
I just looked. I looked underneath files.
no, what I'm particularly excited about is that all the presentations for our mentors have been posted and a lot of written material that was useful. Carol, can you, well, no, let me go over my presentation for Works Cited and then we'll go back to our Canvas screen so that everybody knows what's there. Would that be okay, everybody? Okay, so
Sure.
I want to start with just a review of what we're doing and what you're working on. And I want to keep our excitement as vigorous as we possibly can. And that's why I put this first. Can you see my screen, first of all? Everybody?
Yes. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, good. So this is the idea is a collection of articles with Lion Speak. And what the students are working on is a biographical essay. So each entry, and of course there'll be other entries by different people, but at least in this course, we're emphasizing the biographical essay. And so I want to go over some practical matters regarding the structure of what you're writing. This is posted on Canvas, but also emphasize just the whole MLA thing for our review. And at any point, I welcome your interruption. this material is always, the MLA stuff is always changing. So I've been learning a lot as I've gone over this. So anyway, in the structure, I think you should just think in terms of a standard introduction, body paragraphs, and conclusion. And we want to keep this as simple and as clear as possible. And so my basic thing about introductions is that you should lead your reader into the subject by clearly identifying the name of the person that is the subject of your essay. So identify the person and then identify those qualities or achievement that make this person outstanding. 2 or 3 sentences should do it. For example, in our other book, I just pulled out one introductory paragraph. The Reverend Cedric Mills, and then the dates, was known for his commitment to civil rights and his leadership in both the church and the community. During his lifetime, he was instrumental in establishing and constructing several churches, missions, and schools. So already we know his name, we know his general dates, we know that he was involved in civil rights and he was a leader in the community, and we can expect certain things. Now, every essay will be different because every person writing is different. You may find you want to be broader, but I'm just suggesting a framework. Now, also on Canvas, and this was submitted by, I'm sorry, which of our wonderful alums submitted this, Carol? Do you remember?
Yes, Rob Johnson.
Rob,
and he's on, yes, he's on with us.
okay, wonderful. Well, what I did was I posted the outline, and I just wanted to go over it for the students who may not have seen this. Some of you may or may not, but it is posted. And so there are different categories. So for example, we said the following information should be included in the biographical essay. And you can use this pattern to fill in your details. We can make writing pretty, but we can't fabricate facts. So the pre-Lincoln University, when did the person graduate? So we know his years. What about his family life? Do we know where he came from? What are his roots? What about his education before Lincoln? His elementary and secondary schooling? Other universities, some may have come and transferred, or college attendance prior to LU. And then LU connections. Who were the important people? I'm assuming that I'm articulating these ideas clearly, that family, teachers, community role models. So what were the factors that led to coming to Lincoln, and why Lincoln University? I think that's a terrific question. I really enjoyed some of the alumni's answers to those questions. How did the person get to Lincoln? Who are the people that guided them? What were the accidents? Of course, they weren't accidents, but what were the circumstances that led to the person coming to Lincoln? And that might be what's meant here by LU connections.
That's correct, Dr.
Okay.
Button.
Okay, great. Okay, yeah, that was wonderful, wonderful idea. And we've seen these questions answered in the presentations. All right, so when you get to Lincoln, what was the academic major or minor? What honors and awards have been accrued? Were they involved in Greek letter organization? How about athletics? Did they have leadership positions? What was the rabble nickname? What kind of fun things can you say about this person? And I think the fun things are as important as the facts. In fact, I'm hoping that one of the things that comes out of this is a faithful representation of the personality as well as the achievements. It's about the person. So behavior, pranks, and tricks. And, we've heard many wonderful stories about this. And then organizations, dormitories, or off-campus living arrangements. Did they commute? What was campus life for this person? So it's not only the person, but it's also the experience of being at Lincoln that really counts. All right, so here's the outline continued. Then after Lincoln, what was the baccalaureate education, or was there training, additional training? Was there graduate school, professional school? Did they do military services? Did they get involved in any special experiences or programs? And then, of course, we want to know about professional accomplishments, career path, and then I think, yes, and then contributions to Lincoln University as an alumnus or alumna. So these are facts, but these are people. And I don't think you could ever have a better context in which to learn about people as we have now. It's been wonderful. So anyway, then what do you do in your conclusion? And my conclusion about the conclusion is that everyone will be different. But here are some ways to develop an appropriate conclusion for your essay. You can summarize the direction of the life, the general direction of the life and achievement of your alumnus or your alumna. You can evaluate the contributions and character of your subject, strengths and weaknesses even, and you could consider the impact of the subject's life on future generations, including your own. I think that would be a really nice way to close an essay of this kind. So that's what the content of the essay is going to be. And we did say, I keep forgetting exactly how many pages, but some will be longer than others. But this is the material that needs to be covered.
Dr. Button,
Yes.
I did include in there a piece about the context or the period in which the person lived.
If I left something out, I remember something flipped out. I'm glad you're mentioning that.
Yeah.
Where do you
And
think it should
sure, and the
go?
reason why I say that
Yes.
is because, you know, being a student and also being a citizen in 1890 is
Yes.
different from being a student and a citizen in 1990. And
Yes.
so what was maybe dominant or salient in one period may not either exist in another period or may be viewed differently, you know,
Right.
in another light. And one example would be Clausen's master's thesis.
Yeah.
You know, the 20th century Rob Johnson chuckled at a lot of that material.
Uh-huh.
The 21st century Rob Johnson shuddered at a lot of that material.
Right.
So, you know, and I'm ready to make a lot of apologies and mea culpas, you know, based on my perspective today compared to my behavior, you know, in the 1960s. But the other part of that is, you know, going to graduate school in 1890 is a much different enterprise than going to graduate school in 1960 or the 1960s or the 1990s or the, you know, 2020. And so where we may not think it's a big deal to, you know, achieve, you know, admission to a particular program, that would have been monumental in another time period. So, and then the same thing with their contributions. You know, starting a school or a program may not seem all that great now,
Right.
but back in the day, that was monumental for the welfare and the benefit of the recipients of those services. So that and Bill Wiggins had a term. He said there's a historical or history language that's used to characterize putting the historic, social, political context around you know, events. And I can remember what that term was, but we can find it and just you know, I mean, but the main idea is to, you know, provide some contextual information about why this person's contributions and achievements are significant given that era. Whereas today, we may not, you know, think it's a big deal, or it might even be a bigger deal given today. So anyway, just to interject that particular piece.
Right.
So,
No, I think that's really, really important. And then I was just trying to figure out where, because as the student is going to want to think about where should that go. And you could do it, part of it, right after the introduction. You know, so-and-so was born during a time when. So I'm thinking that it might come nicely, at least to set the framework, the context for the whole essay. It might come as either part of the introduction or as immediately afterwards. Do you agree? Do you like that idea?
You know, you know, on the one hand, that may be a good idea. On the other hand, it may be after summarizing or describing the person's life events and achievements, and say in the context of that period or that era, then this is why these things are significant.
Okay,
So,
right.
yeah, I don't have a firm grip on that at this point.
Okay. All right, so what I'll do is I'll create a slide which indicates that this can go provide context for the life. This can be placed where most where most appropriate.
Yeah, I think of that Dickens lead in, it was the best of times, it was the worst of times.
Right.
And you know you're in for a story, you know.
Right. Well, we could put that in the general introduction, Carol, which you were most certainly right. So, and highlight the, you know.
Yeah.
We do like a story, you know. It's one thing to be fact, you know, this happened then, but try to weave it together in a wonderful story about the person.
Yeah. And I just sent the language that I had in the outline.
Oh, good, Rob.
In chat.
Yeah.
So I just have a quick question.
Yeah.
You know, I see a whole lot of things are getting added into this.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just wondering, is it possible to push this whole thing back like a week, considering that we didn't find out about this stuff until like the end of last week?
Yeah, I have no problem with that. Do you, Carol?
No.
I think that's very legitimate. And I think that's very legitimate because these do require a lot of research. And you're right, some of the details have come later, but you know, as long as you understand that this is a work in progress and we're all figuring it out. And I think that I'm very comfortable with it. Next week is our midterm. We'll just shift things a little bit.
Well, let's be more definite with dates.
All right.
So, yeah. Now we did say the deadline was what for the first one?
I'm looking for my folder here.
Yeah.
Wait, are you talking about in terms of the first bio sketch or?
No, the essay, the biographical essay, the big one. The bio sketches have been done.
We said this week, but next week is fine too. And
so we had said what, the 12th?
We said the 18th, which is what?
Oh, 18, I'm sorry.
Yeah, 18th. I think it would be 17th to 18th. Yes, but we can put it next week. That's fine. That's fine, because one of the things we were going to do in the meantime was to edit and to revise and to have a consultation with your mentor, and that's essentially what we're doing. The reason for the deadline today was so that we would be conscious of not letting time go by, actually. So, and trying to be firm about it. So, yeah, that's good. It's a midterm week. It's a midterm exercise. It's the first thing we've done. You've achieved a whole lot. Everybody's done a good lot of work. So is any problems with that in anybody's book? It gives you a week to fill in some blanks that you may not have thought of. It gives you time to reflect on the context, which is really important, and to get some of the details that you might not have been able to pick up. I think that's a wonderful idea. Who made that suggestion? Was that Taylor?
No, that was Deja.
Deja? Sure. Mm-hmm.
Okay. To hone in again, is this deadline for the first draft or final draft?
Final draft.
Okay.
It's the final draft.
So
Well,
when is the first draft? So the final draft is due next week.
next Thursday, we're giving you an extra week.
And when is the rough draft is due today?
Probably, yes, yes, that's correct. Mhm.
First draft, we'll call it, was today.
So
Yes,
this PowerPoint is
That's the
what's to be
15th.
yes.
okay.
Mhm.
So we're sticking to the draft, but the final can take a week to revise because we want to give you time to revise it anyway. So that's just fine. Okay. Any other thoughts?
Yeah, and this is where we incorporate both of our alumni. Because
No,
now I'm getting
one,
confused.
No.
only one.
So you originally, I wasn't aware that there were two assignments that needed to be done. So from my understanding, I thought that the two bio sketches were to be due. So I'm not sure
It
what
may,
is to be done
Yeah, it's
for
the
this.
language, yeah.
it may be helpful.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because
it may be helpful.
I'm confused.
It may be helpful to distinguish between bio sketches and biographical essays. The
Right.
bio sketches were brief reviews of each of the personalities or individuals, uh, and just a way of contributing to or sharing with everybody something about the lives of this collection of people. And then the biographical essay is a more in-depth analysis and review of their life and achievements. Uh, and each person was assigned two of those uh, to make, write these major pieces on them. With the first person, the essay on the first person due this week or next week, and then the second essay is due at the end of the semester. The bio sketches were due early on, about 2 or 3 weeks ago. So most people gave a review or a presentation of what they had gathered on those particular individuals.
The purpose of the bio sketches was to give everybody a feel for how many people there were, what kind of lives they'd led, just kind of an overview. And they were a paragraph long, and that was a shorter assignment. The major assignments for the course are these two biographical essays. And if I've been using the word sketch, I hope you haven't been confused by that, but they're essays. And so there's one, this is the first one, and the second one it will be due toward the end of the semester.
So then when will we hear back from y'all the essay that we turn in? Like, when will that turnaround time be?
The turnaround time will involve the reading. Your mentor will read it and maybe even read it before you turn it in. And we'll read it as soon as we can. Sometimes it takes a week, sometimes it takes more than a week. But the goal is to get it to be really nice. So you're going to get feedback. Don't worry about that. I mean,
Okay, so
you'll
I'm
have
sorry.
several readers. That's really it's a wonderful opportunity to get feedback. You know, a project like this is a community project. And so you have the benefit of Sister Carol, you have myself, you have your mentor, and anybody else you want. So
No, I'm saying like what we have to turn in today, like when we hear back from that so that we could work on it and develop it to, so that we can
Like
know what to work.
basically, like when will we be getting feedback from y'all, given that this assignment is due next Thursday? So around what time between now, well, when it's due and Thursday, will we hear back from you guys?
are
Have
you
have you submitted those drafts to your mentors already?
I
No.
wasn't aware of the draft. I was talking about in terms of the bio sketches. So I was confused as far as like term wise, bio sketches and biographical essays. I wasn't aware that this was due.
Okay. Well, your bio sketches are passe now. They that
Yeah,
timeline.
because I've turned in my bio sketches like a while ago, and I presented mine as well, but I was just confused because I thought that the bio sketches, when we were talking about them previously in our other classes, I thought that they were getting tweaked, or if we were supposed to be adding something new. That's why I turned in a new bio sketch, because I wasn't sure. Maybe it was just miscommunication.
Who's your mentor? Who's your mentor?
Dr. Kathy,
Oh, well.
And Adjoa,
yeah, in Iowa.
Love Dorsey.
All right. Well,
Well, let me say this too. The purpose of the Monday discussion with your mentor is really to be working with you on your research. And some students, I think, didn't realize that's what it's for, and that you're supposed to initiate, the time that you meet weekly with your mentor. So this should, been nice, and it should have been going on all along.
No,
So that,
I meet
Yeah.
with my mentors every
Right.
Monday, but I'm just saying, as far, I wasn't aware of this, and I'm pretty sure other students were like feel this way as well. I mean, it's not just me. I just wanted
Okay,
more
no,
clarity
sure.
on the assignments that are given, so that way so that way there won't be any, missed assignments on my part, because I like to turn in everything on time.
Right. But it's also a process.
Yes, as well, definitely.
Well, let me ask this of the students. Do you have a clear sense of what is now due? And secondly, do you are you comfortable with the kind of structure that Dr. Button provided with the outline of the essays?
Yeah, I would say it's a clear sense of what's due. I like Taylor was a little bit confused at the start of everything, just because like everything, I feel like everything happened so late in the game, honestly. Like the turnaround time for us is like way faster than the turnaround time for y'all. Like as far as like looking at our stuff and grading it and stuff, like y'all have like a week. We had like from what I'm getting and from what happened, it's like we had a weekend to complete this one assignment that we didn't know about.
I mean, but people were given the individuals they were to research.
They weren't.
You
They
weren't?
weren't. We didn't know. We turned it in from like a little survey thing, because you had to choose like your top 3, and we never got our top 3 picks back, so we didn't know who we were doing.
Oh, but then Miss Black sent out a PowerPoint with those assignments in them?
No. See, that was the bio sketches. But then after the bio sketches, she had said, choose your top 3 people and they'll tell us who we have. But we never heard back from them until about Thursday.
okay.
Okay. Well, I actually saw some of that, and I communicated with my mentees around those assignments several weeks ago, at least 3 weeks ago.
Okay. Okay, what are you suggesting be a solution? All right, we got the problem. Now let's talk about the solution. What is the solution, Taylor? When I met with my mentee, and I think she knows her 2 people she's going to do the bio essay on. What do you need, Taylor and Deja, for this to be successful? So we can do what should we do? Go ahead, speak. Solution.
I'm not sure, but
You need more
if
time.
yeah.
All right, you need more time. Okay, we're going to give you that. What else? Come on.
Let me ask you, do you know who your individuals are? Do you have your 2 persons
Right.
Yeah,
clear.
I have my two Lincoln alum,
Who are they?
Hildress Poindexter and Dr. Mary Harris.
Poindexter
Mhm.
and
Dr. Mary Harris.
all right. Okay.
Yes.
So can we just submit the first draft Thursday and then like y'all
Oh,
have
yes.
But I don't want to push the deadline back because I'm not sure if other students
today
feel
on
the same
Thursday
way
and then
as
we have
well. I mean, I don't know.
because I mean like we didn't already discuss pushing the final deadline date to next Thursday. So why not make the first draft due on Thursday?
This Thursday?
Yes, this Thursday.
Let me ask you this question. Have you started your research? Have you made any progress?
Yes, I started it.
I have also.
Okay,
That's good.
that is good.
Mhm.
Mhm.
I just want to know, is there any other students besides me and Deja that have the same concern? Because I don't want to mess up anybody else's schedule with this. I don't know. Maybe it was just a
So,
miscommunication on my part.
right. So
Don't worry.
what I see now is a clear framework for the material that you need to present. We have, you know who your people are,
Right.
and you're in a position to go look for information because research is really a hunting job. You have people, you have a mentor that you can talk to who might know, in fact, probably does know a lot about these people. So I would just spend some time, maybe even chatting with your mentor about the person so that you get a feel for them. And then you go to different sources. You go to the material that's on the canvas. You go hunting in the archives, the Lincolnians. Um, that's part of the job of a researcher. So I think the path is clear. And you've been asked, I mean, we want to give you time. You don't want to rush the work because it won't be as your best effort. If you need feedback on a draft, that's what we're here for. So I think you're right. It is a communication issue. And I think you're in a good spot now to move forward. How do you feel? Do you feel that too? Does it seem clear to you, the path forward? If not, what do we need to make clearer, actually?
Mhm.
Do you want to submit a draft before you get the final thing? Do you need feedback saying you need more here, more there? That's a possibility. That's a good idea, actually.
I think they were saying, we had just earlier said we would have the first draft was due today. But now we're saying, and I think the students would prefer a little more time and
Yeah.
have that first draft due Thursday. And then the mentors will be, going over that, and we'll have feedback back to them by Monday,
Okay.
the 22nd. And then their final draft would be the 25th,
Yeah,
that Thursday.
and what I want to say to the students also is this final draft is not the final draft.
All right.
Right.
Something that is as important as this is going to go through a lot of changes. It's like, it's the same thing as writing a dissertation. You write a dissertation to get the degree, but you don't have a final product when you turn a dissertation. And if you want to make it into a book, and we're making this into a book, and you're part of the process, and it's really quite a privilege. So whatever you consider to be your final draft, I guarantee is not going to be what's published. It's going to go through more changes because you're going to find some more information, and you're going to talk to somebody, and they're going to say, "Did you know that?" And you can say, "Wow, I can put that in my article." And so it's really very exciting because if you live the life, you get the more information as you go along. So getting the final draft is getting a working document that is good enough to form the basis of a final project. And I'm saying that because I'm still working on an essay with a student from last semester because it's not final yet. So you never know how long this project is going to take, but we need to get a working document that's good. And deadlines are helpful to do that, toward that end.
So
So,
maybe we should call that second submission the second draft rather than final draft. Maybe that's what's scaring folks.
Okay.
We don't want to scare anybody.
No.
and to ease your anxiety, remember the Professor Button said, don't worry about perfection. Just like the Nike, just do it
Just-
and perfection will come.
Mhm.
So I want to ease your anxiety. You don't have to be perfect.
No.
Okay, that's important.
Yes.
So just do it.
And we all have limited time. You 4 courses, you're not, this is not the only thing you're doing. It's supposed to be exciting for you. We don't want it to make a burden. We want you to be excited.
Right.
Your school and what has come out of it and what you might do in the future following the footsteps. So,
And
so
if you look at the outline, I think they really serve as guides,
yeah,
and so they can help direct you to both the research and the writing,
yeah,
and even the organization of your papers. So just look at the material that you've been given. I mean, although it may be considered late or whatever, the main point is that you have some materials to serve as a framework and as a way of as a checklist as well. You can ask, am I covering? What should I cover? Am I covering A, B, C? Do I need more information here or there? But even if you can't find something, say, on the early life, you can always look at their career activities, for example, and get that out the way, and then turn back and ask somebody for help for how can I find out about this person's pre-Lincoln days or their time at Lincoln? Where can I go turn to for those resources? So, given the information that you have so far, hopefully that's will be useful in undertaking the writing and the researching of each of the individuals that you've been assigned.
and also the final product, you should feel that people have your back. You should feel that they have your back, because something like this takes maybe a couple of editors, even after us, to make sure the formatting is accurate, the works cited page is accurate. That's endless. So you're it's a team job, and it's not something you should feel anxious about as much as excited about. So I'm sorry if it's been sort of dry, but let me go on with the rest of this. I think we can move forward, right? Let me just share a few ideas, and again, I think I said a conclusion, and the question is where, and I'm going to change this, and I'm going to say, where do you get your information? And I wanted to brainstorm a little bit, because when you think about research, you have to be creative. Like, where are you going to go to get the information that you need? And I'd like to hear from the students about this, because it's not just a book, especially in these days of COVID. It's not just a book. So, in my day, it was go to the library and put your hands on as many books and articles as you possibly can. But let's talk about, where do you get your information? And I'm just going to type as you talk. So this is for students. This is an opportunity to vocalize.
From the database to Lincoln.
Okay. Good.
Google Scholar also has nice articles.
Okay. Good. Good. Do you guys like to do research? Do you like doing computerized research? Do you enjoy doing that? Do you guys like doing that? Is it fun for you? Do you find good articles? Okay, let's keep moving here. It's hard to get.
No, we need an answer. We need an answer. Somebody answer. We're trying to learn from you guys.
Tamara, are you there?
Hello, where's my?
Is anybody
Okay.
else on
Yeah,
besides
Tamara.
those two?
Okay, Tamara. I said, hey, are you there?
Are you awake?
Yes,
Yeah.
hi, I'm
Okay,
here.
okay. Go ahead.
Okay, for me, it's not fun to do, but I've been finding myself doing it a lot. So it's okay.
So it's not
It's not
fun for
fun.
you. Okay, not fun.
No, it's not fun for
Taylor,
me.
Taylor, is it fun for you? Taylor,
I wouldn't say not fun, but just not my,
cup of tea.
yeah.
Okay. How about you, Deja? Is it fun for you? We want to know. Deja, is it fun for you?
I wouldn't say it's fun. I would just say it's something to do. Like it's
Well,
very it's not fun, it's tedious. Like
well,
it's like
what about, well, okay. Abigail, is it fun for you? Come, tell us. Abigail? Abigail, are you there? Okay.
Yeah, I agree with Deja. It's kind of like tedious, but also like, interesting at the same time, especially since I'm also using this as a substitution for American Lit. So
Mm,
kind of like a little different for me because I'm just here, just
right,
experiencing.
Okay,
right.
now I have another question for all 4 students. If you wanted to find out about a person, other than going to digitized sources, how would you go about finding out about them? What steps could you take to learn about a person that's been to Lincoln and you want to know all this stuff? What other ways can you find information and anecdotes and stories and so forth?
I mean, I can ask, um, well, I can go to the library, but because of COVID, you can't really go to the library, or you can just,
Yes, you can. You can
I
go
guess,
chat with a librarian. They love to chat. Have you ever chatted with a librarian? It's wonderful. You can, it's really fun. That is fun, actually. Okay, but keep talking, Deja. It's your turn. Keep talking. How are you going to do this research other than in addition to the databases?
And that's knowing what you know now.
what can you repeat the question?
I want to know, your job is to find out about these people. They went to Lincoln.
Mhm.
We want to know about them. I mean, 90% of the names I don't know the first thing about. And
Yeah.
I want to learn about them. You're writing for a general audience. How are you going to find out about these folks? They were real. They came to Lincoln. They walked the sacred ground. They're real people. Some of them are still alive. How are you going to find out about them?
So I know with like Adrian Brown, my mentor, Mr. Wiggins, he sent me her contact information.
Okay.
I could reach out to her and interview her.
Okay.
And then my other person, Thurgood Marshall, God rest his soul, he's dead. So at this point, all I really have is Google. And maybe people who like, I guess, knew him, but I don't know people who would have known him. So
Well,
Google.
are you doing Thurgood Marshall?
Yeah.
Well, what discipline was he in? What subject area? Obviously, I mean, just name it.
I don't even think it said. Hold on, let me see.
Okay, but
So I was researching.
what did he do? Why is he famous? I mean,
He was a lawyer, and
All right.
then he became a Supreme Court justice.
Okay.
And he was heavy in the debate, but who's really alive who went to school with Thurgood Marshall?
Well, that's something that you probably answered that by finding
Yeah.
out his graduation date. And I
But Thurgood Marshall, there's so much information on him.
Yeah.
It's I mean,
Yeah, that's why I said Google.
yeah.
Well, the other thing you can do is you could check with the Thurgood Marshall Law Society on campus. There are lawyers who are very involved in our law program. There's a bunch of lawyers that we teach several courses related to the law, and they're teachers who know this stuff. You can interview some of the teachers who are teaching courses that talk about Thurgood Marshall. I mean, if you like to do personal interviews, the faculty, people teaching those courses, Dr. Ihejirika, I forget the name of the guy in the English department, but they can point you to sources. They might have special books. They might say, oh, I have a signed copy of his work. There are people my age who have seen him, who've heard, who have stories about him. I actually sat behind him in a meeting once, and I remember thinking what an incredibly interesting face he had. I mean, there are people alive who knew him, and I'm sure we have alumni who are still alive who may have sat at dinner with him and had lunch and so forth. You could fill your article with stories about that man that no one has ever put to the light of pen. It's incredible what you could do. There are stories about him that need to be recorded, and it's your job to get those stories. And it's your mentor's job to help you find them. And
Okay.
yeah, you've got, I mean, you can't have a better subject than Thurgood Marshall. And Philip Merrill, all you have to do is say the name and he'll shower you with paper and pictures and, you know, ceremonial programs and on and on and on. And you have the right to do that because you're in this class. Not anybody in this, not any other student could go to Merrill and say, listen, I'm doing research, will you help me? But that's your privilege. So you've got to take advantage. Every single one of our speakers will have something to say about these people. You probably should interview every single one of them. They are standing there waiting to talk to you. And if you don't like technology, do something else, but get information and document it, which gets me to my next point. Okay, so here, how do I give credit to my sources? I just want to go over this. It's dry, but it's important. So there are two things that you have to do. You have to give, if you cite something in the story, like if you interview somebody who's had lunch with Thurgood Marshall and Thurgood Marshall told a joke and he remembers the joke and you want to put that in your article, you've got to say where you got that information. So you have to cite it. So that's called an in-text citation. And so that you, at the end of your essay, you're going to have a whole section where you list all your sources, the interviews, the telephone conversations, the times you went to the librarian you chatted with, all this stuff you put in the works cited section. So there are two ways to cite. And so how do I give credit to, did I just do that one? Yeah, okay. So now what's next? Why is this material so important? Well, I just wanted to make a few comments, and that's research involves building on the work of others. You're not doing this yourself. You're doing it in community, and everybody should have credit. And then the other reason is plagiarism is serious business. Intellectual property, when we talk about the information in your paper, we're talking about things in your head that are worth something. You can't steal someone else's ideas. So the whole process of citation protects you. It protects you. This is your work. You will get credit for it. So you deserve credit for your hard work and you need to make it your property. So now this could be done at another time. We can do it now. Just to remind you that in-text citation should be done in MLA formatting. And there's a very basic way to do an MLA format. I have to tell you it's changed recently, but in your paper, the bottom line is, here's the bottom line, I'm gonna say it. The bottom line is if you quote somebody or something, the person reading your essay needs to know and be able to go find it for themselves. So you give the author and you give the page if it's from a book, or you give the website if it's a website. And so I should be able to look here in the example, I should be able to look at your citation and go back to the works cited page and get all the information I want. So it's really about information sharing. It's like, yeah, it's information sharing. So I think to simplify this matter, most of you, in fact, all of you who know how to do MLA citations, because you've had at least one, if not 2 or 3 courses where you've done it. And so maybe what we'll do as you can follow this, I'll put this on the canvas our writing department has guides and I'll show you where those are, but do the best you can with the works cited. Use the knowledge that you have. If it's not right, we'll catch it and we'll fix it. So there, that keeps it easy. Okay, so I'm going to keep going with this. The works cited at the end, it's a summary. Think of it as a summary of your hard work. There's a way to make it look good. You want to center the title in the middle of your, in the middle of the page. Oops, sorry. In the middle of the page. Alphabetize the entry and note things like the author's name comes first, followed by a comma, and all these details. It's terribly detailed. And remember to italicize the title of a work if it's full length and it's followed by a period. Shorter works have quotes around them, not italics. Used to be you do the place, publisher, date. That's easy to remember. Place, colon, publisher, date. Now they're getting rid of the place. So you don't really have to put place anymore. Interesting. So here's some samples that I put up here for your guidance if you want to use them. These are taken from the WRC Writing Center's material. Everything is different. You do a chapter from a book, chapter from a volume. Everything is terribly unique, and that's why you have to go use resources. Oops, I don't know how that got in there. Sorry about that. Yeah, so I put this line up here because I've just finished doing a very detailed, I'm annotating a manuscript. And I learned a whole bunch when I did this, and it wasn't fun. But here's an entry on an article in the OED, the dictionary, and I did it online. And you put the whole, you put the website, and it's terribly long, and you must put the date that you accessed it. Now this one actually is probably done incorrectly. The last name should go first. So I just caught an error for myself. See, now I've sent it into a publisher and I caught an error. How do you like that? That was very disappointing. But anyway.
They have editors too. They would have caught it.
Anyway, yeah. I'm glad I goofed, because hey, you can do this a million times, spend your whole life on these citations, and it's terrible, but it must be done. This should be italicized. See, and now there's another error. And actually, I may have typed this in, so maybe I didn't do it wrong. But here's the title of the article, and this newspaper, the date, where it's found, it was online and accessed. So anyway, I think I did type it in. So what are other kinds of sources that you can find to help you with this? And there are two places, that WRC, that's the Writing Center at Lincoln. They have guides, but this is the real place to do it, the Purdue OWL. And you don't worry about this. You just go to your, the info line up at the top and type in MLA documentation style, and you've got it made. And so that's that. That's what I want to say about citation. That was my charge for today. I think we all know now, okay, what we need to do now. Let me pull this down and let me go to, this is the Purdue OWL site. Students, have you used, has everybody knows the OWL? Do we all know the OWL?
I've heard of it, but I never used it.
Okay, what about you, Taylor? Or is that Taylor?
Yeah, that was me. I usually use EasyBib, but
EasyBib.
Yeah.
All right. How about you, Deja? Have you figured out how to use technology to make it easy on yourself to do citations? So we're doing Frankenstein in my English class. So I'm trying to figure out how to do citations. So what they do is they take me to the book, Frankenstein. We can do a little search here. And they came up with 20 possibilities. Oh, well, isn't that useful? I'm using the Longman edition. Okay, fine. How do I do that? And then they tell you it's way too easy. How does this work? Complete the citation and, well, I don't want to buy. Isn't that interesting? I did it earlier and they gave me exactly how to do it. After the results. There we,
Yeah, it is amazing. I mean, they didn't have all this, of course, with 55 years ago when we were in school. But I know if I just go to Google, and you guys, you know, I use Google a lot, and
yeah.
I just say, okay, how do I cite this comic book by John Doe, MLA? It tells me exactly how to do it.
Tells you how to do it.
Now, it may not be right, but at least you got something to start with,
Yeah.
and you can check it with another, maybe the owl or another one that's more,
Yeah.
you know, reliable or more credible, I should say. But now I would imagine you guys in college, you must have done citations in high school. I certainly did.
Yeah, they've done.
This is not the first time you cited stuff, right? It may be the first time you're using MLA. I don't know. Has anybody used MLA before? Been required to use it?
MLA is probably, I think it's the simplest one, but my historian friends don't like it, so.
I like it. Yeah. Yeah.
All right. So, I mean, I don't think we should belabor this point.
No.
I think we just need to remind ourselves that we need a works cited page at the end. We need to cite in the middle, and that's it. And be imaginative about your research. You can go to newspapers, you can go to people, you can go to, actually, you probably should go talk to the Alumni Association director. Have we had that person talk to us?
He's coming in next week. But you know, I think that this is a Lincoln alum. The first place you need to go is Special Collections Online. The one that Ms. Pivar showed you how to access it through the library, and just search for your person. You must start there. If you don't go anywhere
to
else.
that, anybody that has an alumnus or alumna who, you know, in more recent years, I mean, from the late 19th century on, there's going to be something, even if it's only maybe their name in a catalog, but there are yearbooks and class books going back to the 1920s, I believe. Now, Tamara has Christian Fleetwood. So unfortunately, he graduated from Ashman Institute, and you know, way before there were any alumni newsletters, and he died before there were alumni newsletters. So she's kind of out of luck there. But Carol, do you know when the Education for Freedom is going to make it online, or do you have the scanned?
I do not have it. I'm screaming at them now. They promised it. It should have been by last week. So I just made another call today. I'm getting voicemail. I'm hoping I'll have it within the next few days. I don't have it
well,
yet.
I was
matter of fact, one of the students
what
asked
I
me
did
for
today
it.
for. Now that was probably tomorrow, and because I have a copy, and Christian Fleetwood is on a few pages, so I said, look, I'll just scan. I'll use my phone to scan those few pages, and I did send them to her. And so I heard somebody has Hilders Poindexter. He's also mentioned in here. And, you know, if anybody wants me to look up and see if their person is in here, I can do that, and just I can't scan the whole book for anybody, but if it's somebody who's just, you know, mentioned a few pages, I can do that until the Canvas copy's up.
Oh, excuse me.
Nice.
Excuse me. Can you send Hildreth Poindexter to either Kathy Odwa or Taylor? It's her actually person.
Okay. So I guess I can find Taylor on the like on the email list. She'll be right there. Right. I'll just find her on the email list.
Would you like her to put her email in the chat?
Yeah, I can put my email in the chat if that's more helpful.
Susan, well, the thing is, the chat will only last until the end of the.
Right.
But all these Zooms, all these classes are in Canvas now.
Okay.
So you can always come back and read the chat. Everything, it's there.
I don't have access to Canvas, so.
Yeah, I know.
Um,
Well, the students
I
do.
have, I'll send
Right,
Taylor's
right.
email to Carol. If that would help, if she can send it to you, Susan, because I don't have your your cell number or anything.
Yes,
Or
you do.
can I
It's
have-
in that PowerPoint that I did. Everybody's
Okay.
phone number and email is in
Oh,
there.
it sure is. It sure is. Okay, thank you.
Oh, okay.
Sister Carol, could you tell us about Thursday to remind everyone? And I also want to say that by Thursday, I sure hope we'll have an answer to the Canvas access issue.
On Thursday,
Yeah.
what do you want me to?
Do we have, I think we have a guest, don't we?
This is awful. Wait a minute. Do we or do we not? Let's see. I'm using another system, so I don't have access to all my files. Hold on a minute. I don't think we have a
I
speaker.
think we don't. Okay. So let's meet and report in and find out how we're doing. And I think we should just have a report in.
That
Yes,
sounds good.
yes. We have a lot to do.
Let's have a report in and everybody bring an update on their work. And part of this is sharing resources and ideas. And I think that will be very profitable.
Good, Dr. Button. If Taylor can go first, because she'll be simultaneously working, she can get hers in and out.
Okay, great. That's
Taylor already volunteered you. First one up.
Yes, because I will be at work.
So when you participate in graduate student and even undergraduate special seminars, this is one of the things that happens. You get together, you share your work, you share what your frustrations are, your successes. In fact, that's probably the format. What are your successes and what are your needs? And we're gonna help each other.
Can I give a message to the students? And I understand the frustration and the even sometimes the dread that comes along with this type of assignment and work. But you know, a lot of people appreciate having the opportunity to write, learn how to write, and to improve that craft. It's not. I mean, very few of us are naturally gifted with, you know, being born with the ability to be, you know, good writers. And so the more opportunity we have, the better it is. I had a person who was a student of mine in 1988 contact me out of the blue last week. And the first thing he said, and he left a voice message for me. And he said that I signed a lot of papers, and I told people that I always keep a red pen in my presence. Even today, I have a bunch of red pens that I use for, I think I can see this, for marking up stuff and, you know, sharing feedback to people. And he noted that I had written notes on his paper and encouraged him to do better and told him he could be a good writer. And this is 1988. But he informed me that there's not a month that doesn't go by where he doesn't think about the counsel that I gave him, not just for the writing, but also for some personal things that was happening in his life. And this is a white male, by the way. And he said that as a result of that consultation and that confidence I placed in him, he went on to graduate, and now he's he has some kind of educational enterprise. He says he's, you know, worked at more than 40 different graduate courses, helped more than 50,000 teachers.
Wow.
He served more than 50,000 teachers over that course of time. And so by putting in the time and effort to improve his writing, along with other things, enable him to do well in life. And the same thing is true for me. I was never, you know, a good student in English. I was a language major. And so my language teacher, Dr. Grubb in particular, asked me, why is it that I'm only getting C's in English and getting A's in French, Spanish, Latin, and the like? And so, because I didn't apply myself. And so once I learned to use the English language and any other language for what it had to offer, that enabled me to do a lot. I mean, in terms of acquiring degrees, writing grants. You know, when I wrote my first grant, I said, I'm very thankful for the fact that people made me write when I was in college and graduate school. Writing those essays enabled me to write a lot of proposals, a lot of grants, and I've gotten over, I got more than $10 million worth of grants and contracts and fellowships and all kinds of things as a result of acquiring these skills. So I know it's tedious, I know it's frustrating, it appears to be uninteresting, but trust me, this will be a skill that you will be thankful for a long, long time as you benefit from the payoffs. Once you finish this, I mean, just in the publication before you graduate from undergraduate school is a milestone, a very big deal. And all you can do is build upon that going forward. So hang in there, take heart that all of this work and all this frustration will lead to some very unforeseen benefits down the road. So, you know, take it from someone who's been there, done that, and get feedback from other people who I forced, quote unquote, to all I do is assign essays. I very rarely give tests when I was teaching. And over almost 50 years of teaching, I can probably count the number of tests that I gave. But essays, written assignments were my mode of evaluating students because of the payoff that they have. And I had students come back later on, even after taking my classes, asking me to review their work because they knew that I was always emphasizing writing and editing their works. So, so cheer up, and you know, just you know, just be aware that this is all going to serve some purpose down the road.
All right.
Any
Thank
questions,
you.
comments from the students?
No, I just want to thank you for your response.
Well,
Deja, you okay? How are you? You motivated?
Yeah, I'm motivated.
Yeah, you sound like it. Mia, I know you came in late. Let me see if you're listening now. I called Mia. I called Kaya. I said, wait a minute, where are you guys? This is class time. Now I realize we don't normally meet on Monday, so I give you a little bit of, you know, slack because this is unusual. But how you doing with your essay, Mia?
Pretty good.
And well, you may want to tell them what we've been doing a little bit.
We've been working together very closely. You've been sending me information. It's been actually pretty good.
Good.
She's doing Dr. Credit. And I don't know, she might have missed it, but I said, did you hear what Philip Merrill said about Dr. Credit's relationship to Cab Calloway? And she said, no. I said, well, they were related through marriage going back. And she thought that was fascinating. I allowed her to bring that aspect in, but I'm sharing with her some of the, you know, resources that I know about. And she's pretty far along, which is great. We did change today so that your first draft is not due today. We've extended it to Thursday.
Okay.
Yeah, you didn't get that information. And then your second draft is due the following Thursday. And Angela, you didn't get that information either. Actually, we'll have the alumni stay on after the students leave.
all right.
Mhm. Okay, Dr. Button, you have something else for them?
No, I think
we're
it's
good.
yeah, we're good. We're good.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you very much. Everything's great.
All right, ladies, go do your thing now.
All right. See you Thursday.
All
Be
right.
encouraged. Be encouraged. Bye-bye. See, Mia's still on.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay. Whoa.